Saya Namaha. Yes, thank you. Welcome you.
Red?
Welcome, welcome, Mataji.
Thank you,
Yes,
Swamiji.
yes.
So, my first question will be for our celebration on 6th and 7th April.
Yes.
As you know, we came little groups like this since 10 years. It's the 10th birthday.
Yes.
And we want a little word on what is unity.
Yes.
Why we say we are one.
Yes.
Finally, it's a vast subject.
Yes. The whole world, as it is unity in diversity and diversity in unity. One in many, many in one.
Shall I translate a little bit?
Yes, yes, why not?
Donc ma question à Swamiji, c'est qu'est-ce qui fait qu'on est tous un? Comment on explique ça? Le message de l'Himalaya. Et il dit on est un dans la diversité et la diversité est une.
Why translating here, there,
After? Okay.
isn't it?
Okay.
So, whatever we take as one, it is not one. If you analyze, it is the group, one group. It is a totality. It is not just one as it is. It is a totality. No one can be found. Nowhere we can find one without manyness within it. Everywhere. For example, our body is one and so many parts. There is no body as a whole. We cannot see the body without seeing the parts of it. And anywhere you go, one tree, there is no tree. If you want to see the tree analytically, there is no tree. Nowhere the tree is seen. But parts of it as a whole, totality, is seen and named as a tree or a body. So everywhere we see a group is always seen, and there is no one. Everywhere, whole universe is created in this way, so it creates confusion and misunderstanding. This is called ignorance. We don't understand how is one and how it constitutes so many within it as parts of it. Okay?
Yeah. Why we say we are finally, ultimately we are one?
Ultimately one in sense, we should not feel different from each other. In this sense, it is said, unity in diversity and diversity in unity, so that we'll understand as a whole we have the duty to have relationship, cooperation and mutual understanding with every part of our whole totality. Then only the whole group will function correctly or successfully. Then only it will be successful. And success means in the unity that oneness disappears, that group disappears when we analyze it, and then we merge in absolute one without a second. That is the source of everything. That is the substratum of everything. That is the holder of everything. That is the final aim of every individual being, and that is our source. We have to go back to source for whole totality. And as individual being, why we should not feel individuality? Because in individuality we forget the whole total feeling, and thereby we are limited, and thereby we lose our unlimited power and unlimited understanding. We forget it. So always we should think of one being a part of it, so that we can understand our relationship with the whole totality, with every individual being, every identity we have relationship. This is how the whole universe is one, and as a whole, if one atom moves here, the whole universe has to move, because everybody is related with others. This is understood as a whole totality. This is how we should go back to our union with the absolute one, without a second, without possibility of a second. This is the clue to feel union, unity.
And it is through remembering
Continuously having relationship, having the remembrance of it, memory of it, not forgetting even for a second, fraction of second. That is the way to reach the highest target, our aim of every being. When you feel and you act as individual being without having relationship with others, then you are limited. Everything is limited. So this is your meanness, mean-mindedness, your miserliness in thinking. So everybody should always remember that whole totality and act as individuality with relationship with every and each individual beings. Then the harmony will be there in the society. Everybody will be happy. That is the way to happiness. That is the way to blessedness. This is why the great saints, the great research students who had spent their lives for getting this, they say in this way. The simple saying goes, diversity in unity, and unity is in diversity. This is how it is said like this. We should feel it, understand it, accept it, and act accordingly. This is the way to blessedness.
And when something is disturbing us, and something we don't like, how to embrace it?
Yes. Liking and disliking occurs when there is no relationship, no understanding. Then only a proper understanding is there, and we feel relationship with everyone, we cooperate, then there will not be any liking or disliking. When I feel you are my family member, can I dislike you? Though you act not according to my will, even then I will not cut off your relationship with me, because I feel you are one with me. You are one of our family members. The whole universe is our family. That is how we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means the whole universe family feeling. And see how we are limited, how we are bound by this limited feeling, individual feeling. There is always some demarcating line where we feel it belongs to me, and beyond that it doesn't belong to me. Always there will be boundaries. This ashram belongs to me. There is a boundary line. Beyond that, it is not mine. I don't take care of it. I am not worried about it. If this boundary line is taken out, then what belongs to you? So in this way, all the boundaries of limitedness, when deleted forever, you are universal being. By limited understanding, by limited feeling, we have lost our all-powerfulness, almightiness, that and omnisciency, omnipresency, omnipotency, we have lost it. It is our original nature. We have forgotten it by limited ideas. And we should delete all these limited ideas, forget it, so that we'll be one with everyone. And then there is no happiness, no unhappiness. Everything is balanced and we enjoy the whole unity in everything. This is the essence of all the religions. We forget it. And because of boundary limitedness, we fight with each other. And we fight for peace. This is the wonderful statement. We fight for peace. Peace is not a fight. Peace is equilibrium. Peace is balanced state. This is how we can attain peace, world peace.
What is interest to come and encounter other traditions? For example, Christian and Hindu. Is it important to make this link?
You see, all the heads of these religions who have started it, they started it as a path to the ultimate. But their followers, in the course of time, they forget the ultimate aim and they forget so many things and they add something to it and thereby it is polluted in the course of time and we differ from each other and that's how we fight against each other. But all the religion heads, they realize religion is one. Religion is one. Paths are different. Paths are many. Suppose the hilltop, the peak of the mountain is one only. But there will be innumerable paths from the bottom and many people adopt many different paths to reach the peak. But they will reach one point only. So why to fight against each other. Why to say I am right, others are wrong? This is mean-mindedness, this is misunderstanding, and this is limited vision. Because you don't see others' paths, so you say I am right and others are wrong.
And to go to see other paths can enlarge our vision.
Yes, yes. As we go upward in our attempts, means, for example, when the climbers have attained some heights, their angle of vision widens. They see many things at a time. And that's how one who is standing at the peak of the mountain, he sees everything all round. At a glance, he will have all round vision. He will not find fault with anything, nor praise anything. All the paths are same for him. This is how, when we go to the depth of understanding or the height of understanding, it is all the same.
And in
We gain the all-round vision, and that's how we see everything at a time here and now. We will not have any controversy. In the end, and as we go up and up in our path, we will have wide angles of vision. Slowly we will not much differ from others. We will understand others. Understanding depends. And at the end, one thing and one thing alone, which will hold everything in it. And this is how the great seers, they see everything at a time here and now. They go beyond time and space. How? As we go up, we see a greater angle, wide angle vision. In that, suppose you are standing on the top of the mountain and you are seeing at the foot hills, there is a road and some car is moving. And the car driver will see hardly 100 meters ahead and that behind. And his vision will be this much only. And in that vision he will have future vision for 100 meters. And that is, say, for 5 minutes ahead he can see. And 5 minutes before, 100 meters back he can see at a glance. Whereas you are standing on the peak of the mountain, you see 100 kilometers at a glance width. Your vision is wide and you see his future and past at a glance here and now at present. Your present is his future and past. It holds both. So when one unites himself with the Absolute One, he sees the whole universe at a glance. He lives at present. He has no future, no past. This is the beauty of going beyond time and space. By practicing this diversity in unity and unity in diversity, we reach that highest altitude where everything is same, and that is balanced vision. We call it absolute equilibrium. Samattam yoga uchyatam. Lord says in Gita, the absolute equilibrium state is known as yoga. This is the beauty. Thank you.
Om.
Thank you.
One more. Can we cut?
Yes.